Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smart Investing. Today, we're going to be discussing the next 5 bank stocks that I have on the list. So, I'm just going to pull that up real quick, and then we're going to start from the bottom all the way to the top. So, I actually had this one up first. So, we're going to start from the bottom all the way to the top, but I did have this stock first. So that was a mistake on my part. This was the first stock. So first stock up is TOWN, Town Bank, Portsmouth, Virginia. So before I go over this stock, I just want to real quick go over and say what we're going to be doing before we do it. So I'm going to be discussing fundamentals, technicals, and a little bit of quants. So you get the best of all the worlds, all three factors as to how I evaluate stocks. And again, I do want to mention the disclaimer. If you're going to invest in the stock market, please consult a professional, somebody who is licensed and insured. Because again, anybody who makes recommendations, it's a big risk, but then also it can be a reward as well. So again, you have to understand that if anybody's making recommendations or price points, they're not really allowed to do that unless they're licensed and insured. So again, I do not make any recommendations as to which stocks to buy, but what I can tell you and what I do know, what I have been doing for the past few years, is that I can't make any recommendations. I can only suggest to you which stocks that are good to add to a watch list, to your watch list, and then also personal stocks that I like or stocks that I think where I can put in a portfolio for myself, so that way you guys can get an idea of a really good portfolio. So that way, when you guys start picking and choosing which stocks you do like to add to a watch list or a portfolio or sample portfolio, you guys can test that out and actually see which sectors you do like based on the stock that you have. And then again, you guys can narrow it from there. So, like, let's say, again, I had a sample portfolio a few years ago, but then every year I update it. It always stays at 25 stocks, up to 25 selections. But if it ever has gotten above that, like let's say one day I decide to make it 40 or 50 stocks. Again, I'm not suggesting all 50 stocks. That's just a list to add to a portfolio of high interest. When I mean high interest of a high likeliness of it succeeding, a high success rate. You can pick and choose which stocks you do like out of the 50. I'm not recommending all 50. So I just want you guys to understand that. So again, I try to do the best I can to suggest stocks for personal sample portfolios, and then you guys can just take it from there. Again, the best thing I can do is just try to guide you on your decision. I can't make that decision for you. So let's begin with the stock and continue with this video. So again, as I was saying, the first stock up I have is TOWN, which is town. So we're going to look at the first page like I always do. And based on the numbers that I see, I just need a minute to look at it, because because the first thing I look at is this. Then I start looking, for some reason, I look at this over here. I know, I kind of do it backwards. I look at this first, and then I look at this second, then I look at this third, and then yeah, I'm weird like that. I work my way from like right to left. I don't know why. I think it's because I always look at this. The price for some reason, that's not the first thing I look at. Like, I don't know. I'm just like um so prone to it that it just passes by me. I mean, it's so bold, like right in your face. So I just like I don't have to just stare at it. Everything else is more important to me than the price, and then it's just more of a factor for me when I'm browsing. So 52-week high and low definitely for technicals, and then I'm looking at this right now, which is undervalued. Um, Pretty decent stock. So for the numbers, it looks okay. Needs some work, but it looks okay. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at a 5-year chart. So it looks like it's holding up pretty good. Uh, so we can see from, let's see the last 5 years, because the last 5 years have been like tremendous gains. So let's look at about right here. What price is that? It's about $26. And as of right now, we are 27 and 66 cents. So I want to see what happens between the price now and if it keeps above the $26 mark. For the past 3 months at least, ever since January, hold up. So ever since January, it's gone down, but at around, let's see, I'd say the past month, ever since June, it's been holding up. It's been holding up for the most part. So between that, so basically between $27 and 28, that's like the breaking point within that dollar range. I want to see what happens within that dollar range. But the stock looks okay overall. I mean, from fundamentals and technicals. So now we're gonna move on to analysis. Look at some quants. So very sort of low on the ratings. I mean, nothing impressive. And so the highest number that we have for the quant rating is value. So obviously, with value, it's saying that it's under. Well, if it's a 5.9, it's a decent price stock. You know, if it was a lower number, then it would be very, very undervalued, which would be a good thing. But I think that number is too high. I think that number is actually between a 4 through 5. I don't know how they got above a 5. But again, that's just my opinion based on the information being presented to me. So now we're going to look at the company financials, and hopefully we do have, up-to-date information, and if not, then we're going to go through as much as we can anyway. So let's begin. ROA, we have, I don't like looking at quarterly. So ROA has gone flat. That's not bad. ROE slightly up. Then we have earnings per share have gone up a lot. So their earnings have gone up. I want to see their net margins. That would have been so important. If not, I look at the net income. Debt is pretty flat. Book value has gone up. And everything seems to be holding up. even as far as their numbers for the key indicators, net income has gone up, which is good. I don't have anything for revenue or operating income. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the app, but um, lately it hasn't been showing me any revenue or operating income for the evaluations that I've been doing. So moving on to the balance sheet, it looks like they increased their debt, which is not a good thing. And we're going to look at their operating and investing, their financing. We're going to look at the cash flow. So we're not going to dig in deep. We're just doing a summary because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, yeah, they have plenty of cash flow. The ranking system, I'm not even going to look at that because that can change month to month. And then, I mean, it's always good to look at, but you guys can look at that at your own time. Excuse me. And we're just going to look at the dividend list, and they do have increasing dividends. They have not done any splits, which is good. So, overall, let's see. Overall, the stock is average. It's not bad, but then it's not also like good as I want it to be. It's like stuck in the middle. So when it's stuck in the middle, I'm just gonna say no for now because it just needs a little bit more work. So for now, I'm just gonna say no to this one. And sorry, but I'm gonna put an X for this one and move on to the next one. Uh, I think in order for it to improve, I mean, I like the cash flow. Um, the thing is too is that what did it for me was the earnings. As you can see here, the earnings have dropped like a lot. For like the last 3 quarters, and then I would have to see uh, a beat. Well, it looks like they beat the first quarter. And second quarter, they've got to be more or less. Even if they go slightly under, that's still not bad because analysts are expecting a lot of downward momentum anyway and a lot of misses for the estimates, a lot of missing estimates. So a lot of people are expecting that. But yeah, I mean, this is not a good year for stocks anyway and for companies. So again, I don't have this information presented to me. And again, the stock seems okay. I like the rising dividends. They seem active. They have cash flow. Um, they're just average. They're not something to say, wow, like I gotta have this stock. The numbers don't support me to say that. So I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is UNTY. So UNTY, and I think that did it for me for the weakness for the last stock actually was the chart. I still want to see it break at least $2 more from where it is, which is gonna be hard because, like I said, we're in a downward type of market, so it's hard to do. Not impossible, but very hard to do. And again, it just needs a little bit of work. And if it works out and people are more interested in the stock and start buying it, and the price goes up, then so be it. If not, then the stock is just gonna lag and just put out decent numbers, average numbers. So next stock up, UNTY, Unity Bancorp. So looking at the numbers, they seem okay. They seem undervalued. Uh, I mean, the market cap is kind of low. It's kind of tricky, but that leaves room to grow. So it is high risk, high reward. As far as volume and activity, as far as the technicals, it seems okay. This is a stock that would, it will have to be monitored like daily, because I mean, okay, for the volume I see 32K, but then in order for this stock to go up and down like that, that's a lot of volatility. That's a lot of volatility. So again, I could be wrong. There may be more volatility when the stock market opens, especially for the banking sector in general. And this is a stock that might be part of it. And it is, excuse me, I apologize. And it is holding up, but I still see the downtrend. I don't see this stock doing, explosively well for the next year when they're better stocks. They have a long way to go as far as market cap, but again, huge reward. So I'm not taking anything away from that. And we're gonna move on to the technicals and continue the technicals. Hold up, let's quant rating. So what are they saying about signals? So technical analysis, we have here 6 people that are stating that they're bullish and 1 bearish. Now, can we expand this? Yes, we can. So we're going to turn here. So it looks like in this section here, 3 bull signals and 2 bull signals. That's kind of hard to say for the week of July, because I mean, if you look at it from this standpoint, okay, we're gonna draw the low, right? Then we're gonna draw this bar here. So we're in this range. So we're like in a 28, let's say $28 range, all the way down to, I don't know, 26. So from here to here, that's a $2 range. I'm guesstimating, guys. I'm guesstimating. This is not like accurate. So what I was gonna say was, we have that line there, and then where's the bottom? So there. So then I'm gonna continue this line. So we have like the middle here, and if you notice, a lot of the action is basically, is it on the top or is it on the bottom? Is the action here? Or is the action here on this top line? I'd say most of the action is on the top. So if we focus on the top, we're gonna see and cut it down into $1 now. So let's say from here to here was $1, and then from here to here was another dollar. So if we're looking at this range now, as we can see here, this last candlestick, it hasn't broken. Has not broken. Almost, but it rejected it. It has not broken the $28 mark. Even if it did pass this line, even if it did pass this line, you know, I would have to see continuation of another red bar, because as we can see here, you see all these 4 red bars. Then we had one big bar. Those look kind of lucky. But then if we compare these 4 compared to this one, these 4 red bars still beat this one. So what I'm trying to say is, you see these red bars follow through. You know what I mean? Because you have a red bar, then follow a red bar, and then followed by another red bar. So I just want to see more of a continuation pattern, and you're not really seeing that, especially in the stock market. See, the first 3 months of the year, everything was more obvious to me. Then from March to June, it started getting a little mixed for any stock or anything or any industry. And then it was slightly going down, but it was also going up. And it was just quite confusing because you had all these mixed signals. And even here, you have a bunch of like mixed signals. Right here, I see a W. So, I mean, it's hard to see what the next move is going to be. I think it's going to go even lower. If we take a closer look and we do an extension, so we do it from there. So let's do this. So we have here a line going this way. Oh, whoops, that was on accident. Then we have a line going like this. Slightly up, it didn't even do anything. Then went down again. I mean, even though it didn't go to lower lows, it still went down. Then from here, it went up, even though to me this looks kind of flat. Still, before this going flat, this here, that was a move up. So I'm expecting another move down. And as we can see here, we had a continuation of 3 green bars, then 2 red, then 2 green, then 1 red. So, I mean, this is things to look at, Still fighting for this line here. And we just need to see more of a confirmation. What I'm looking for is basically the next big red or green bar. I mean, that's a big bar. This one is a pretty big size. But then you see big green bars, but then followed by small red bars. And again, this is another pattern. You see small red bars, but you don't, then even if it goes down, it will have to break this. So, like I said, even if you see small moves on the red, it still have to break that. But once it breaks that, even if it's small red candles, as long as it goes down, then yeah, then it's gonna head down even further down. So even though it says 6 bullish, that could change that in a few weeks, and I still think it's bearish. I don't know about you guys, but I still think it's bearish. So I don't know how they see that as bullish. I think because even, analysts and everybody's going to tell you to buy, and they're never going to tell you this. They're never going to tell you to sell or that they're doing slightly bad, they're not gonna tell you that. They're always gonna want you to buy or hold, and that's it. And that's just not the right answer all the time, especially in a market like this. They're the worst at it. So I do like this. I like seeing this. See these gaps here? That is a really good sign. Hopefully we can see another gap. That is a really, really good sign. Even if they do miss expectations, that's still a good sign. So we're gonna continue the fundamentals. So fundamentals are still looking good. They are lowering their debt, which is definitely a good sign. And we're going to continue looking at other aspects for this stock. We have net income. That's all I see. Again, another stock where I'm having issues. I can't see the revenue or the operating income. So we have assets and liabilities. The liabilities are starting to go lower, which is good. Then we have operating, investing, and financing. So cash flow seems okay, seems to be doing good. And then we're just going to look at the dividend history. And they have been increasing dividends every year. So for this stock, I'm actually going to say yes. This will make a nice stock for a watch list. So far I have no, and then yes, and then we have the next three. So Washington, oh, look at that chart. Look at that chart going down. Now it's flat. Right off the bat, I didn't like that. But again, I could be wrong. And overall, we see 52-week low and high. Volume is crap. It's undervalued, definitely undervalued. So now we're going to move on to the analysis part of things. And the quant ratings for that are, the highest one was 5.74. So that's more of a technical factor and indication. So momentum is telling me it has decent technicals. And we're going to keep looking at the financials. It's still not bad.